So spent some time with my construction buddies, and I realized it's very important that business owners understand the value and advantage of having an offer on chain. Now, this is something that I've realized after talking with a couple business owners at this point. While I was able to relay the concept that I can build an NFT for them, they didn't get what that meant. And to frame it for perspective, because I had one of the construction guys ask me, what's the benefit of raising money through an NFT over raising money the traditional route? And it's important to understand you're not looking at it as a benefit over, but as a benefit in addition. So think of companies back in the day when everybody used to have their number on a yellow paper. If you wanted to reach a company, if you wanted to find their number, you had to find their phone number on a sheet, a list, and make the call if you wanted to reach out. Now, when the internet started to come into play in the early 2000s, there was companies that began to create offerings for their products and their services online. And so this doesn't mean that they disconnected their phones and people couldn't reach them through the yellow pages anymore, but it gave people an additional method to be able to interact with the business and utilize its services. So very similar, putting an offer on chain is in addition to the offers that you're able to present and complete through the traditional sense. You have to understand the crypto market is, let's actually find out what is the current market cap of crypto. Okay, so according to CoinGecko, the global cryptocurrency market cap today is valued at $3.83 trillion. Now, understand this, crypto has already gone through a significant portion of the bull run. Bitcoin moved from 15K to over 100K, and many of these smaller altcoins have had even higher multiples. So as far as how that relates to market cap, if today the market cap is just below $4 trillion, that means that the market cap before the bull run kicked off had dropped to under $1 trillion. Now, that doesn't mean $3 trillion disappeared and then just magically reappeared again back into the marketplace. That money moves and it moves strategically. It's moving towards different investments. And so by having offers that are on chain, business owners position themselves in a place to be able to take advantage of the money that is already planning to move off of crypto. Now, as far as benefits for business owners, like I just explained, crypto holds trillions of dollars worth of investment capital that is constantly looking for new projects to be able to have a return on. However, when it comes to individual projects, the benefits are going to vary depending on what the project would actually offer. For example, I had talked about a family friend who was looking at launching a tequila business. And so the benefit of launching a tequila business as an NFT rather than going to investors to raise the money is the fact that you're going to know whether or not you will have customers based on whether or not you have sales of your NFT. That way, you're not just raising money on the hopes that you're going to be able to flip the inventory, but it's going to show that there's demand for the project. And on top of this, you're developing a customer base before you've even sold a physical product itself. So you're able to raise the money to be able to fund inventory, to get a feel of your customer base, and be able to kickstart the business as opposed to just raising the money from investors and being on the line for that cash. Now, that's going to be different from a construction owner who, let's say they have 10 projects that will finish across the course of the next 18 months. 18 months from now, that money is going to have decreased in value, inflation. So by launching an NFT project that has revenue sharing capabilities, potentially you could borrow that money in the future today when it is at a greater value and be able to utilize that for additional projects to be able to continue to expand the business and ultimately be able to write the terms for your next loan because that's really what you're doing. You're lending money to yourself from the future. And so if you say that you're going to give people a 10% return on their cash and you raise $1 million, well, if you were traditionally offering 20, 25, 30%, now you're able to get better rates on top of the fact that, again, you're able to access the capital early from projects that you already have in the pipeline. So there's going to be varying benefits to different business owners. And it's gonna have to become a skill that we acquire as far as understanding how this can relate to the business owner as far as benefits, and then more importantly, how to effectively communicate that to them so that they're on the same page. Because I've definitely noticed, I mean, even growing up, I had a hard time communicating my ideas. And so that led to me kind of being isolated for a little bit. I remember I didn't have a ton of friends in middle school and elementary. And it's not because I was dumb. It's not because there was anything wrong with me. It's just if you don't know how to communicate and people don't know what you're saying, they're going to be confused. And people who are confused typically don't like being confused. So communication's key. We live in a world that is built on interaction and collaboration. And so we're just going to have to get effective with how we convey the ideas that we have as far as how this can be a benefit to business owners, to the people that we're talking with. Now, there's different ways we could do this. Role playing different scenarios would be one. So just crafting different types of avatars that we can practice the idea with. But we also just need to actually practice pitching, pretending that we're talking to somebody directly. So that's honestly pretty easy. I can just turn on my camera or look in a mirror and start talking to myself. But we are going to need to definitely practice just because again, it's crucial. If we want to gain the trust of people who have the credibility that we need to leverage to launch these projects, they need to understand where our thought process is coming from. And ultimately, to achieve that, you have to be an effective communicator. So, not a bad day. Made $100 on Uber. Got some more feedback from business owners, which is important. I've only talked to two business owners, I think, at this point, or two business entities, three business owners. So it's been helpful, especially given we have yet to start compiling leads to look at doing additional projects. But with the insight, we're going to be able to really refine and hone in on the areas that need strengthening and improve our pitch for the next time that we go about presenting the product. So it's late. I'm not going to drag this video out too long, so we'll be getting back on tomorrow. And the goal is going to be honestly to start doing more content early in the mornings because building a personal brand is also going to be super important for gaining trust with business owners as well as gaining awareness with our enterprise with what we're doing. So if I want people to be interested in working with me, the best way to do that is just building a following and building awareness around the projects that we're creating. So that's just going to take consistency and a little bit of effort, but it's part of the game. It's no problem. So yeah, it's a late night. You guys can tell I'm tired. I'm like not even really there. I'm there obviously, but like I'm mind is just kind of scatterbrained. So with that being said, I will see you guys on the next video. Peace.